Happy Monday. It's Jessica Prater with J. Prater Consulting, and I'm here with a special Motivation Monday coffee chat. And today I've got Jenni Schubring talking to us a little bit about her personal journey into motivation. Jenni is a transformational life coach, a speaker, and focuses on really making you your best self. And so today we're going to talk about how motivation is personal, how you can impact your business through understanding your why, and how to move forward even if you're early on in your business. Let's chat with Jenni. Hey Jenni, how are you this morning?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing great. So welcome to Motivation Monday, these coffee chats that I'm hosting to talk to business owners and career workers, individuals about what motivates them in their business. But the first question that I want to ask you, Jenni, is if you and I were meeting at your local coffee shop, what would you be ordering this morning?
I would probably be ordering just a plain coffee, but I like my cream and maybe a dash of caramel, so nothing too fancy.
Oh my goodness, you know what's really funny? I just put caramel in my coffee this morning. So I literally just have that exact coffee right now.
Right. That's fantastic.
Very cool. Well, we'll go ahead and dive into the meat of the conversation. When we're looking at talking about our jobs and what we do, Jenni, what motivates you to do what you do every day?
That is a really powerful question for sure. And what motivates me, first and foremost, is being able to use the gifts that I've been given. And for a long time, that has been beyond right in my four walls with my children. I have 4 children. I have my niece who lives with us. We've had foster children. So I've done a lot of things right in this home. But now a new stage, the motivation is to get out and being able to just really embrace who God made me to be, and then be able to bring that to the people that are put in my life. So really about just honoring who I am and then how I can help others with that.
Oh, I love that. So you talk about you're going through this change of stepping outside of your 4 walls and impacting people on the outside of what you've been doing in the past. What would you say to folks that are going through a major pivot in what they're doing, whether it be personal life, career? What would you say to those folks?
I would say, first of all, get to know who you are and who you truly are, not who other people think you are, not who you think other people think you are, but really who you are, what your gifts are, not even like the gifts you wish you had, but really honoring who you are. And because once you do that, then when you get to do the things that honor those strengths and those values, it's exciting. That's what's invigorating. That's what it makes it easy to get up in the morning, because you get to use the gifts you've been given. And until you know what those are, it's really hard to be able to find that spot. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. So I have to ask you, Jenni, you help others find their self and really find some of their strengths that they use in their business and help kind of discover some of those things. Mm-hmm. But for your journey, what have been some of the most impactful tools or processes that you've used to help in your self-discovery?
Well, one of the big ones, and this is why I do what I do, was doing the Gallup Strengths Finder. Mm-hmm. That was a huge just opening, because when something is so innate within you, it's so hard to recognize it as a strength, right? Because it's just what you do, and you just assume that's what everybody else does. But really, no, that's not the case. And so being able to embrace those things. So I never recognized adaptability as a strength. Who knew that it looks like it's chaos in my house, like, because I can work within any situation, but it really is a strength. Or my number one is communication. So even How if my husband has to write an email or something, he'll be like, can you just check this and is there better verbiage for that? And so for sure, recognizing what my strengths are and attaching values too, looking and seeing what my values are, and being able to apply those two things into what I do for my work.
Mhm. Absolutely. So I'm hearing a lot of themes with you about talking about being an individual, identifying your values, looking at something that you may not even see as strength. You just talked about your house is chaotic and you do very well with adapting with that. What would
Mhm.
you say to someone that may be struggling with finding their own motivation?
Uh, well, the questions typically ask is, what if you can go back in the last couple of weeks and think of a time that you felt invigorated. Um, and maybe you might have to go back a little farther than a few weeks, but is there something that you've done in the last quarter, in the last 6 months, whatever, that when you got done was like, that was amazing?
Mhm.
And that is like, when you start looking at that moment, how did you feel? What were you thinking? What did you want to continue? All of those types of things, like that's really where you can start pinpointing some of those things, like what motivates you. Because invigoration motivates. So if you can do something that invigorates you, that's when you're really finding that sweet spot.
Absolutely. So you talk about this idea, and you mentioned earlier when you were saying you focused on honoring self. And so I know there are a lot of people out there that may be in a job that may not be their dream job. They may be in a job that they're working towards something that's their ideal state. What do you say to folks that may not be in their best situation right now but are working towards something? How would you say to keep motivated for those folks?
Well, I think one of the things is, I truly believe, like, if you can find a job where you're using your strengths within 75% of the time, you are in an ideal situation. And
Mhm.
obviously that does not always happen.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only reason why I can do what I'm doing is because my husband is a teacher and he has a job and he has insurance and all those other logistical things. This would be way different if I was on my own.
Mhm.
But if you can find something outside of your workplace that does those things for you, sometimes a job allows you to do it in a different area.
Mhm.
So you do your best, you use the gifts that you have, and you do your best in your workplace. First of all, you're going to impact whoever's around you. I don't care if you're in a cubicle next to them, how you react to things makes a difference. And so keep doing your best in what you're doing, and then see if you can find that other thing outside of work. Find it within your family, find it within how you interact, what you do, volunteer, or your hobbies or anything like that. Those are the pieces. It doesn't have to all happen within our work. We
Mhm.
have 40 hours of our day or of our week is technically at work, but there's a lot more to life than work too.
Mhm.
So if you can find that within that, those are the things that will keep you motivated to keep moving and using the strengths and values that you have.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely loving this conversation because we have a lot of overlap between me and you. I was just having this conversation maybe 3 weeks ago with one of my clients that don't have to get all of your fulfillment out of just your job. Maybe it's a volunteer opportunity, maybe it's that kind of thing. And then maybe working outside of your job right now leads to your next job or your next
Mhm.
opportunity because of building those skills, about thinking overall how your life has this holistic view rather than just, I am who I am from 9 to 5. When I check out at the end of the day, I don't build my skills any further. I absolutely love that.
Mhm. Absolutely. Because yeah, there is so much more to life than our work, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were saying you have 4 kids and you have a
Mhm.
niece that lives with
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
So what do they think about what you do? I'm just curious.
Um, they, I, they're funny because they love it. They
Hmm.
love, first of all, that when they come home from school, I'm home. So they like that, and they like that I can. do the school things and be there. So the flexibility is amazing.
Mhm.
They like that I get excited when I get a new client call, and they're like, and they'll ask me how my day is, and I'll be like, oh, I got a new client. Oh, that's great. So they get really excited for me. Um, and and with it, there's sacrifice too. So I am only a year in.
Mhm.
And so, and actually, even though I'm a year in, it's only been since January that I've only done this. Before this, I've either homeschooled or had a part-time job.
Mhm.
So it's still in the early stages. And so they've had to sacrifice. We don't have two full incomes anymore.
Mhm.
And yet nobody has complained. So I just, they see the value. They see me being happy and excited. They see me motivated. They hear some of the stories of heartache that other people have gone through, and yet how they are resilient and champion through it. Of course, I don't use names or anything, but some of these stories are so powerful that for my kids to be able to hear what other people go through and that I get to walk them through that is just, it's so cool. And my daughter is now thinking about starting her own baking business, and she's 13. So like there's
Awesome.
definitely stuff running, it runs down, right? So what I do does impact them, even though I might not be with them all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could tell when you mentioned your kids, I definitely could tell you lit up. And so I
Hmm.
wanted to make sure I asked you about that, because I can tell you I'm an entrepreneur's kid. And I know my dad will be watching this replay, by the way. So dad, you know, I saw the hustle from a very young age. And I think that's very motivating to have your own business, because it definitely sets your kids up for an understanding of what hard work really means and
Hmm.
what that looks like to really own your business. Not saying that it's anything less. If you work for a corporation, if you work for a large organization, you're gonna model different skills for your kids that are important. But me particularly, I love the idea of running your own hustle and having, something that your kids see, what it really means to own your own business and to start to finish take full responsibility for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. Jenni, if clients want to follow up with you, if they want to talk with you more about what you do, where's the best place to find you?
I have a website. It's very simple. It's jennischubring.com. And you can book a free call easily. I'm also on Facebook too, and that's Jenni Schubring LLC. I keep it very simple,
Mhm. It's good.
mostly for my own self, so I don't have to remember.
Yeah.
But yes, I love what I get to do, and I love to talk to people about it. So, and there's really the thing about life coaching is that it's hard to explain. So I always tell people, like, if we could just experience it for a little bit, and that's what my free calls are. So
Absolutely. Well, Jenni, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for giving us a piece of an understanding of what gets you going every day, what keeps you working in your business. And thank you again for sharing a little bit about building your motivation with us.
oh, well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I love talking about this kind of thing. So thanks for giving me the chance and the platform to do so.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.